This is The Real News, and I'm Jess Lenore in Baltimore. Last week, the Environmental Protection Agency proposed new rules that would limit greenhouse gas emissions from new power plants. Here's what President Obama said in June about these new rules.
Today, about 40% of America's carbon pollution comes from our power plants. But here's the thing. Right now, there are no federal limits to the amount of carbon pollution that those plants can pump into our air. None. Zero. We limit the amount of toxic chemicals like mercury and sulfur and arsenic in our air or our water, but power plants can still dump unlimited amounts of carbon pollution into the air for free. That's not right, that's not safe, and it needs to stop.
Now joining us to discuss this is Bill Snape. He's the senior counsel at the Center for Biological Diversity, where he coordinates the center's legal and policy work on endangered species, the wilderness, and energy from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
So, Bill, talk to us about these new proposed rules. On one hand, Americans for Prosperity Ohio released a statement saying that this will kill coal as we know it in this country. You have other groups, and in fact, the state of North Carolina, which has sued the EPA over a set of similar rules that were recently released. But you argue that these rules don't go far enough.
That's right, and I think the good news on the Obama proposal is that it finally does take aim at coal. We should be phasing out coal. This is a very dirty energy source. The bad news is that the president is embracing natural gas, which is not nearly as clean as he would lead us on, and in fact is going to head us in the wrong direction. So there's the good and the bad and the ugly on this proposal, and the bottom line bad news is embracing natural gas is not the answer.
And talk about why or what these new rules would exactly mean for new coal power plants, and why Americans for Prosperity are so against this.
Well, some people are against it because they're against any type of change, and we have been relying upon coal for a number of decades, and it's time to get off. It's a bad addiction, and it's killing us. The deal with natural gas is that it does burn more cleanly, but its process of extracting it from the earth is incredibly dirty. This is the fracking process where clean water is impacted, earthquakes are caused, chemicals are put into the earth's crust. So natural gas has its dirty underbelly, not the least of which is the release of methane, which is a far more potent greenhouse gas than even carbon.
Fracking is controversial because a lot of what you have argued would be argued against by experts that work for the hydraulic fracturing industry. Talk about methane and why it's so important in this discussion.
Well, methane's important because it is such a powerful greenhouse gas, and it is emitted throughout the entire natural gas life cycle. Hey, look, the reason why people like natural gas is we have a lot of it in the United States, and it's relatively cheap. It's an orgy of natural gas. We have so much natural gas now, we want to export it to other countries, but that does not mean it's a good idea. It does not mean that we ought to dig up every square inch of earth in this country and frack for natural gas, which is basically what is occurring. We're a little out of control right now with natural gas, so much so, again, that we want to export all this stuff all over the world.
Now, is there a way to have an environmentally friendly natural gas burning process and extraction process?
I don't think it will ever be environmentally friendly, but I think at a smaller scale, we probably could tolerate it. What's happening now is it's happening literally everywhere. It's happening on American public lands. It's happening on state lands. It's happening next door to where people live. It needs to be massively scaled down to not have the type of environmental injuries that we're seeing.
Bill Snape, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You can follow us at The Real News on Twitter. Tweet me questions and comments at Jess Lenore. Thank you so much for joining us.